Welcome back, everybody. It's time now for your Game 5, your decider. One game to decide it all at the Esports Champion League WinteR 2014 LAN Finals, the last tournament of 2014. We're going to see whether it's going to be Newbee or Invictus Gaming coming out on top to win the last title of 2014, and it's a Game 5. It's a decider. Both teams have, well, kind of figured one another out by now. They know what they want. The draft is just going flying through here because the two teams just seem to be set in their ways and seem to have a pretty good idea of what the others want to do, what they also want to do. And while I'm GoDz from Beyond the Summit, bringing you Game 5, and it's time. We've got ourselves a draft. We've got ourselves a decider, and looking forward to see how things go down here. We've seen IG normally actually being the ones to give away the Ember Spirit. We've seen Newbee kind of getting the Ember Spirit most games. IG kind of opening up with the Skyreth plus Lion opening for the most part, but no Lion this time around. Instead, they go for the Ember Spirit, giving away the Brewmaster, but we saw Brewmaster, he can be beat. That was the 2 games ago where IG actually had a Viper mid for Ferrari 430, got completely crushed in CS by the Brewmaster, but come mid-game time, Brewmaster did absolutely nothing. And in response, we also see the Viper from Newbee. So, kind of recognizing IG like to go for these heavy magic damage focused lineups. The Skyreth Mage, of course, the Lion and the Paskins, and Ember Spirit, a lot of magic damage there as far as the Flame Guard and the Searing Chains is concerned in the early to mid game. So Viper, nice kind of tanky hero to have at your disposal. And we'll see what else Newbee looked around their lineup of. The Brood, once again being banned out. It was picked up in one of the earlier games. A game IG won, although I don't think you can really credit it to the Brood. That was definitely a June slack, which kind of set the tempo and did most of the work there for IG when they were taking on LGD in the previous series. But Newbee say, we don't want anything to do with the Brood. We're going to just ban it out, be on the safe side, not let any shenanigans through. And then the Medusa ban. So a hero we've seen here and there. Ferrari last game, unfortunately, could not carry through, but still a hero that Newbee are somewhat worried about. The one thing for Newbee, the Brewmaster Viper, most likely they've got their safe lane farmer as well as their mid hero with these two, although there is some potential for putting something like a Brewmaster in the off lane. We've even seen these kind of like Viper dual lanes in the off lane as well. And we'll see exactly what Newbee maybe have in mind. There is some flexibility, but typically this kind of reveals 2 of your 3 core heroes and neither your main offlaners, although they both can offlane. As far as the bans are concerned, the Disruptor ban from IG, something not mentioned just yet, is the Doom ban, which is a hero which to me has been the hero of the tournament. This has been the one pick which, with all these games going as late as they have been going, has just been dominating constantly. You get your Ags, your BKB. I think we did see a Doom lose earlier today, but I think possibly the only loss the hero has received this tournament. It's been a lot of long games, 50 to 60 minute games, and even yesterday some reaching nearly 2 hours. So in these kind of long drawn out games, Doom is complete boss in the late game, being able to Ags, refresh it, take out multiple heroes, refresh the Shiva's Guard as well, refresh your own BKB. He's just kind of that ideal late-game hero in a lot of ways. So we'll see him taken out of the pool. And IG going to go for the Ancient Apparition. This is, to me, one of Chizbug's better heroes. I mean, the Skyreth Mage as well. But last game around, Chizbug kind of struggled a bit on the Skyreth Mage. So maybe we'll see him bounce back on the AA, put Chuan onto the kind of more tempo-controlling, roaming Skyreth Mage. As we'll see what Newbee have in mind here. Viper, though, again, as I said, kind of pretty good at tanking things up and dealing with a lot of this magic damage. We'll have to see if IG gets some kind of carry, apart from the Ember Spirit, which is actually maybe more physical damage focused. The Morphling still in the pool, being one of the bigger ones. Anti-Mage also still there. And Anti-Mage not a bad option. Viper, Brewmaster, it's going to kind of like a 5-manny lineup here. You get the mech, you have the Brewmaster, Blink, Split Thread, and that's where you look to kind of just take down towers off the map and do your thing. So I don't know. I guess if you can create the space you need and get online with the Battle Fury, start split pushing, kind of like it's kind of like a Naga Siren. You have this timing where you can't really stop the push, but eventually you get farmed enough and you can kind of counter the 5-man by just split pushing the lanes. But for now, Newbee, get the Vengeful Spirit, so add some physical damage, and does kind of suggest that they're going to be going for maybe another kind of core hero with some more right-click damage. Viper, Brewmaster not exactly packing a huge amount of physical damage, which the Vengeful Spirit usually complements with the Howl, the Vengeancesaurus, so maybe going to go for another kind of semi-right-click damage-dealing hero here, and that's what IG was somewhat concerned about when they did ban out the Spectre. So maybe something along the lines of the Howl Morphling comes back, The How obviously Anti-Mage pretty well known as well, so possibilities are there for Newbee, but I'm wondering if this is going to be... I guess it's an okay game for an Anti-Mage. AA and Skywrath both very squishy. Slark's still available as well. I'm surprised these teams aren't playing much of the Slark. Something IG crushed with earlier today. Slark against the Viper Brew, so-so. But we get an Invoker, and I would be excited to see a Ferrari 430 Invoker, but I'd also be pretty excited to see Lua on this Invoker. His Exort Invoker, back in the old patch when the Midas Necro 3 rush was so popular, he was pretty proficient at playing this Invoker. So definitely a hero we could see go into his hands or Ferraris, depending on how they want to play things. I almost want to say it's going to be Ferrari going mid on the Ember Spirit, and Invoker maybe in the safe lane, but they could easily swap those around. I have to see. Viper is kind of a bit of a lane dominator, and putting an Ember Spirit against the Viper is less than ideal, and that's where maybe Invoker's going to be going mid. So we'll have to see if that maybe puts Ferrari 430 onto that Invoker. As for these next couple of picks, IG have their support, still looking for maybe that kind of more teamfight focused hero. Something like the Tidehunter, the Clockwork, which has been really popular this series, and I think that's something June would love to get his hands onto. If he can so do so. Newbee themselves had Rabbit play the Clockwork in the previous game to great effect. Clockwork, I want to say undefeated today, with June picking up a couple, I think 2 wins, and Rabbit picking up the 1 win last game. So maybe a hero that both teams have their eyes on, depending on how Newbee want to lane things. They may be kind of a bit lacking in damage with the Clockwork pick is my main worry, but definitely for IG, I could see a Clockwork fitting in nicely, and that's where Newbee have got 1 ban left before that pick. Could well be looking at a Clockwork ban, so we'll see exactly what happens now. Newbee ticking away at their reserve time in this Game 5 decider at the ECL LAN Finals. Not a lot of prize money at stake, but for these teams, it's kind of a nice way to round off their year in good fashion if they can pick up a win to end the year. And here we go. WinteR's been... he's just left me. He had to go to the airport, and he's been asking for a Zeus pick all tournament long. All of yesterday, he's like, why aren't these teams picking Zeus? All of today, he's like, man, you know what hero would fit perfectly in this draft? It's Zeus. And now, as soon as he leaves, the Zeus picks come out. And I'm not sure if we're going to be in for a support Zeus or a core Zeus. We'll have to wait and see. At this point, I want to say it's a support Zeus with the Viper and Brewmaster both kind of mid laners. And IG agree. They actually ban out the Anti-Mage. And there's your Clockwork ban. So we won't get the June Clockwork. Fairly... I mean, at this point, it's a somewhat obvious ban. At the start of today, it probably wouldn't have been as obvious of a ban. So instead, offlaners is probably like the Tide, and they're not going to actually do anything like that. They go Lycan, putting something like an Invoker in the offlane. Or do we see something really quirky like the Lycan offlane? Has been done before. I remember Ice at Starlight, I get thrown into the offlane on a Lycan. It's like, I didn't know what to do. I just maxed Howl and spammed the hell out of that spell. But Lycan getting picked up, and this is the kind of hero which I like Lycan against the Newbee draft. The mobility is good against the Viper, as well as the Brewmaster having the ultimate for the movement speed. And in general, it feels like a nice pick. The main problem for IG is going to be the laning. Who's going to the off lane? Is this going to be some kind of a dual lane setup where you do something like a Skywrath Ember Spirit in the off lane, just to have as kind of a 2-1-2 setup? Laning this is not going to be easy for IG. It's kind of the main worry with these heroes. But Newbee at the same time, they've got lane dominators in the Viper and the Brewmaster in their core heroes, but like a support Zeus is an alright support, but it's not exactly known for his zoning potential. And there's your last pick. It's going to be another damage dealer. They see IG get a bit greedy, packing core heroes. They say, we can do that too. How going to last pick the Weaver? Probably putting the Brewmaster into like a 3 position for Rabbit. Actually, no, it's going to be Moo picking up. So Rabbit going to be on the Viper, maybe some dual lanes. We saw the kind of a Viper off lane with a support in one of the previous games, and possibly something similar coming out once more now. And the Howl Weaver, though. Fairly common Howl hero, and one of his better heroes, I would like to say. So we'll get ourselves into the Game 5 decider now. Newbee and Invictus Gaming, your TI4 champions, taking on your TI2 champions. Not quite the same teams. Well, for Newbee, it's mostly the same roster. Just Zhao 8 having been replaced by Rabbit. For IG, Ferrari 430 and Chuan, the only 2 remaining members from that TI2 IG team, but still a lot of talented players in this lineup. Chizbug, an old Dota 1 veteran. Luo's proven himself as as well as June being the pub star that he is. He has risen to fame in China, being the 7.7k MMR pub star that he is. But we'll start things off with a good old-fashioned Dota 2 pause. You've got to christen this game. Say, this is now an official Dota 2 game with a good pause, and we're going to get things underway here. So to introduce our two teams in our finals, no match ticker at the top. It is tied 2 games apiece. This is it. Winner of this is your ECL champion. Loser goes home with second place, and well, nobody remembers second place unless you're Cloud9. It's going to be Luo playing the Lycan. It's going to be Ferrari 430 on the Invoker, so it looks like he'll be going mid lane. Chuan on the Skywrath Mage. Ancient Apparition in the hands of Chizbug. June going to be on the Ember Spirit for IG. For the Dire side, it's going to be Rabbit on the Brewmaster. They did actually end up swapping things, so Rabbit's not going to be on that Viper, or Moo's not going to be on the Brew as initially picked. Some swaps, post picks are happening. How going to be on the Weaver? San Sheng playing the Vengeful Spirit. Puts Moo onto the Viper. Looks like he'll be heading mid, and Banana going to be handling a support Zeus for the Newbee side as they're going to make a rotation through the enemy jungle. Looking to find what they can. Chuan with the boots first is going to scout out this, and he's not in too much danger of going down. No kind of good long-range initiations to catch him out, and the boots means not really any shot for Sansheng to get in range for a magic missile. You got some good old Blondie Vengeful Spirit cosmetics. Going to see Sansheng swing on through and looking for a potentially very aggressive ward. He's actually blocking camps here, maybe anticipating something like a Lycan jungle. We've seen Luo jungle in so many of these games. Even has a sentry ward, which suggests as well that he may be going straight jungle. Hasn't skilled anything just yet. If you're going jungle, we'll be going for the wolves. If he's going lane, though, he picks up the house. So that suggests it is going to be a laning Lycan. He also wants to fight and contest this rune. Luo gets the rune. And if you're a Lycan, you want to get those wolves up as soon as possible. The bounty rune does help and go a long way. Brewmaster on the offlane picks up the bounty rune for himself. So we'll see how things develop here. It looks like June will be making his way down bottom to join up with Chuan. So Chuan, he's been playing a farming lion a couple games in a row. Looks like he may have to share this game. And by share, I mean not get too much. Basically give the farm to the Ember Spirit, to June. Offlane Lycan, though, with Hal level 1. Not exactly your common offlane. And we'll see how Luo handles this lane. Zeus, Venge, not exactly the craziest kill potential, but some good zoning. We're going to see Zeus just spam that Arc Lightning, use those clarities as much as possible, and Sansheng has the threat of the magic missile. So Luo going to get very little. He just wants to get an XP range, and just getting like a single creep's worth of XP, or even a couple, is going to be good for him. So getting close to that level 2, and once he's level 2, he can fall back to the jungle. He's got a nice little Dark Troll Summoner camp waiting for him, which is one of the better camps to have as a Lycan. Ferrari 430 in the mid lane up against a Viper. Viper-favored matchup, especially with the Quaswex Invoker. Invoker will have the HP regen from the Quas to help him out, but lasting against a Viper is not fun and not exactly an easy lane for the mid-extraordinaire that is Ferrari. Although this series, he has been bested by Moo earlier today in a Viper versus Brewmaster matchup, getting crushed when he was on the Viper by Moo's Brewmaster. So as far as underrated mids go, I got to say Moo is one of them. Like, to me, probably Moo, one of the most underrated mids in the Eastern scene. Kind of reminds me of someone like Fata for Cloud9. Fata definitely a heavily underrated mid player. Maybe less so as of late with how dominant Cloud9 have been, but when he joined Cloud9, he was definitely incredibly underrated and one of those mid lane kind of dominators who just wasn't really known for being a top tier mid, but has proven it time and time again. Moo, to me, is in the same boat. He had games where he just put his team on his back at TI when needed. Routed bottom lane, gets the bounty rune, but he's been slowed as well as the cold feet going to hit, but it's not going to latch on. Chuan is out of mana, does not have any more arcane bolts, and as a result, Rabbit will get back to the lane. Oh, Willie, June's close, not going to get close enough for the Searing Chain, so if he had boots there, he has 600 gold, but did not buy the boots. Could have got that kill. Meanwhile, mid lane, Ferrari's had such bad CS, he can't even pick up his boots, which Banana's like, come on, man, give me that courier. I've got this DD rune, I'd love to snipe a courier. But because he can't CS here, Ferrari, he's not getting boots. Banana's like, man, surely something's coming out soon on this courier. Anything. And here we go. Courier's on its way. Will Banana be patient enough? It looks like he's backing off now with the DD rune ending. Oh, man. This is one of those moments where he should have just told Moo, like, just give him a CS. Give him a free CS. Help him out. Help him get his boots a little bit faster. And then maybe you actually get that courier sniped. But the courier will come out now, and Zeus will make his way back up top. Luo summon wolves and will just poke and prod at Banana on the Zeus, who does have boots up already, so As far as Newbee concerns, boots on all their heroes now. Well, all their supports. Even the Weave, okay. So, boots galore. For our IG, though, their support's using a lot of their mana. Chuan mostly depleted here as well. They're going to just start pulling, stacking, and unable to really zone out or stop this Brewmaster in the offlane. Already level 3, and it looks like Rabbit going to continue to get a decent amount of XP, and even some CS here and there maybe now. June will be rushing phase boots, so looking to solve that problem we saw last time where he just couldn't get close enough to the Brewmaster for the kill, and with phase boots that definitely fixes things. Here we go. Lua's fallen back to the jungle. The jungle extraordinaire. He just loves spending as much time in this jungle as possible, and we'll kill off the big creep, and we'll see the 4-minute rune come out. And Brewmaster, when you have an offlaner who can control runes against both supports coming in, that goes to show just how tanky and how well he's done in this offlane. Chizbug getting slowed by this frost creep. The ghost, if Rabbit kept chasing, could have maybe even got that kill. I don't think he quite realized that the ghost was working in his favor there. Oh, this is a neat little play here. We'll see the aggro, or the creep aggro being drawn away by Sansheng, and this leaves his tower completely vulnerable. Glyph has already been used, and this is going to be a very fast tier 1 tower pickup for Hao, who at this rate will probably be rushing a Midas, I want to say. Especially with such a good start, but the TP is going to come in long-range concussive shot. June as well, the Ember Spirit going to make his way here. Gets a 2-hero Searing Chains. It's Banana and Sansheng. Who's he going to go for? Looks like he's got neither of them so far. Banana pretty fast with the boots, but the Flame Guard is there. The Wolf's going to help him out, and he wants both. He wants Sansheng as well. Flame Guard lasting a couple seconds longer. Double kill for your Ember Spirit. He just gets the first blood. Weaver killed the Skywrath Mage shortly afterwards. Had to dive towards the secret shop for it. What a rotation from IG. They really want to keep that tower alive, and they succeed in doing so thanks to the Ember Spirit rotation, who top lane is low. Zeus wants one more out lightning, has a bolt as well, but he's not going to get in range for it. Weaver's also coming in. No Searing Chains. Not sure if he had the mana or not. Did not see that one. And Hao gets a return kill on the Ember Spirit. So with that kill there, I've got to say Newbee may be coming out on top. Even though they don't get the tower, getting 2 kills on your Weaver, they will eventually get this tower, because at this point, Ember Spirit doesn't really want to go TP top again. He wants to go back to this bottom lane, where things were going pretty well for him. But if they want to keep this top tier 1 tower alive, once Newbee push out this creep wave, we're going to see that tier 1 probably go down with the Glyph still on cooldown. Hao's Weaver, man, known for its aggression, and well, he gets aggression combined with farming. That's the thing with Hao. Like, he will farm and find kills at the same time. TP to other lanes, and still never really fall behind as far as his farm's concerned. And topping the CS by a big margin, giving Newbee a nice little edge in the early game here in the Game 5 decider. June has gone back towards the bottom lane, even TP'd down there, so if Newbee probably caught wind of that, they know this top lane is pretty much ripe for the taking, but it's mid lane. This time around, ID say, we'll give up top lane, we want to kill this Viper. He's got 10 stick charges, he's still fighting. But it's going to be a kill. Tornado finishing him off. Chuan getting low, but will TP himself home. Gets his level 3 now as well. So nice little kill going the way of IG. And they do actually still have their top tier 1 tower. Didn't end up going down here. They instead went for a pull here. A bit of an interesting move. They put so much emphasis and work trying to bring down the tier 1 tower. And then as soon as they could get the tier 1 tower, IG was smoking mid. June had TP bottom. They don't actually go for it. So maybe slightly changing their mind. It looks like Hao also changing his mind. Well, I don't know about changing his mind. I say that as if he had the same idea I did. But he's not going to be going for a Midas. He's going to be going for a straight, well, very early game fighting build. If you want to fight early, he says, I want a Wand, I want a Belt of Giant Strength to get some treads. The HP regen of the Ring of Health. Did take a lot of damage to get that double kill early on. So this is just allowing him to stay in this lane and not have to go back to base at all. See June now kind of initiate forward onto Rabbit. Has the Fire Remnants available, but not going to pose too big of a threat to Rabbit, who does have level 6 now with Arcane Boots. Rabbit is doing absolutely fantastic in this offlane. Getting that space when the Ember Spirit even TP'd top to give himself some farm as well. So up to 25 CS. He's matching the Ember Spirit on farm effectively right now. And looking at some of these hero levels, Newbee not only farming well, but the supports are higher level than their opponents. Just the Invoker at mid who's doing exceedingly well now after getting that kill, although the CS fairly even between the Viper and Invoker. Yeah, pretty much dead even. Bottom lane though, we're going to see June get initiated on the Brewmaster. Primal Split is there. Can he fire him now? He's actually out of mana. Buys a bottle before he dies. And looks like they're going to find a second kill as well. The primal split being used. It's How, of course. Who else TP's in other than How? And he's going to help get the kill on Chuan. We'll get slowed down by the concussive shot. Another Shikuchi comes up, though, and Chuan, down he goes. How now 4-0, dominating streak just 8 minutes into the game, and they're not done. The Invoker at mid lane gets ganked out by the Viper and Vengeful Spirit, giving IG a 5-3 lead on the top scoreboard. But more importantly, all 3 lanes, all core heroes of theirs farming and farming well. How going to probably just, he's going to stay at this bottom lane, give June some problems, and How has the sustain with the Ring of Aquila, the Ring of Regen as well. He's got all sorts of bling for himself as top tier 1 Tau does get denied by Luo. Looks like Zeus maybe went for the last hit, but the walls were a bit too much for him to fight with. And for IG, they're kind of playing catch-up. I feel like they need to find some space for... Not even space, they just need to find level 6s for AA and Skyreth Mage, and they're both just level 3, about to hit level 4, so that's a long ways off. But they need to play things slow. Try go for maybe a smoke gank with the 2 supports, because getting a kill will help them get those level 6s, and then fall back, use your pull camps, use your stacks, maybe even see someone like the Ember Spirit look for a rotation himself, and give a lane solo to these supports. So they actually will do just that. It's the IG special, the kind of 10-minute smoke gank. Not with a core hero. Like, last game it was kind of with the Blink Dagger timings. This time around it's just going to be just the 2 supports, but they'd love a kill on Rabbit here. Lycan pops the ultimate from the trees. I like this move. Catches Rabbit by surprise and gets rid of the pesky cast time on that ultimate as well. How TP's in. Going to go for Chizbug. It looks like it goes for the insta TP out with the How bonus damage coming in from the minus armor. Gets one. Looking for a second here. How? He's 6-0. He's unstoppable. Less than 10 minutes in, and this Weaver already getting out of control. They get the kill on the Brewmaster, so from IG's point of view, it's a core for 2 supports, but honestly, from IG's point of view, it's like, holy shit, how do we stop this Weaver? And Invoker, maybe with an Orchid, is one of the answers to that. It looks like Ferrari thinking he's going to rush a Midas here. Sometimes the Quasbox Invoker is just straight Orchid, but this time around he wants to stop off for a Midas, and we'll see if he even goes for the Orchid. Some Invokers kind of prioritize more towards the mobility of the 4-staff. And even the Hex is another possibility. The 4-staff Hex build kind of popular, so... As things stand right now, Newbee, level 6 on Sansheng, about to hit level 6 on Banana. They're stacking, they're using their pulls. Mid lane, they're going to go and get the kill on the Viper. IG, find one. Rabbit now shows up in the mid lane with a primal split, though. But be careful. Watch out for that big ultimate here. Viper did not have his mech just yet. And only the 3 points in corrosive skin. I don't think a 4th would have saved him. Looking at that fight, and How showing up as always. He loves picking on these squishy supports. The last pick, Weaver, working really nicely against AA Skyreth. Sure, Skyreth has the silence, which on paper is a counter to the Weaver, but Weaver just does so much damage early on with this 2-4-2 build of his, and he just controls most of these lanes. So 7 kills to 5, but I don't think that really tells the whole story here. You can see here, it's about a 3,000 net worth lead and a 2,000 XP lead going the way of Newbee. New at the mid lane. The one hero I'd say on the Newbee side who's not doing as well as you'd like. Viper kind of expected... I mean, you want him to dominate these 1v1 matchups, and that's where you gank Viper once or twice, put him in kind of comeback mode where he's just playing from behind, and this hero doesn't quite do what you kind of plan for it to do when you're drafting. Lycan going to pop the ultimate. They want to kill Mu again. They say 2 kills is not enough. They want a 3rd. TP's coming in. That's going to be the Vengeful Spirit. Nice Tornado EMP. Mu. He's still alive for now. Luo not going to get it. Okay, he's going to maybe pay for this with his life, though. Gets blown up by the Zeus. Even the Thunder God's Wrath being used to secure that one. And How going to make his way down bottom, but Rune's already been taken, and How doesn't even have a lane to farm. He's just going mid, going bottom, going top. He's all over the place. This is one annoying bug right now. And he's going to find a courier. That's the benefit of the... Well, not really the benefit, but that's, I guess, a occasional perk for this heavily roaming Weaver. You find something like a courier, and you never know what you're going to find. You find some neutral camps, you find some enemy kills on squishy supports, maybe a hero in the jungle who's low HP, and that could be someone like Ferrari. He is down to half HP, roughly, but he's got his minus now. Once that courier... Well, there's no courier going back to base. He's got to walk home. Walk home, pick up your minus, then go back probably to that big camp to use that minus for the first time. Sansheng getting very deep wards up. this early in the game. Not a ward you'd expect if you're IG, so this could be a good ward to set up some kills and just secure a safer farm for Newbee. Be sure they've got this big lead, but they'll still be looking to farm up a few of their items before they get too aggressive. But the Blink Dagger on the Brewmaster is kind of like going to signal the word go. But Viper's mech also the other big item pickup for them as far as they're concerned with their early game aggression. So mech on the Viper, get your Blink on the Brewmaster, and then you can start making your move for some more tier 1 towers, especially with how as farmed as he is. Lincoln Sphere probably going to be completed around the 15-minute mark at this rate. Well, IG. Luo, not a bad score, 2-1 and 2, but he has not been finding much farm, being an offlane Lycan. You wouldn't expect him to find too much farm, but not exactly a hero you can expect to carry you if you're putting him in the offlane. Still a decent pick to pressure lanes, keep the split push up, and make sure Newbee just don't kind of group up as 5. When you see that Viper Brewmaster, you almost want to pick up some kind of a split pusher. Lycan going to drop the ultimate. He loves using these preemptive ults. Concussive Shot will slow Sandshank. He can turn and stun, but should still be a kill here. Moo going to come in with a Viper Strike and actually tries to leave the Wolves to get the kill, but we force back. The TPM will save Sandshank's life, and thought it would be a kill. With the Vlads, maybe it would be, but did not have the Vlads on himself just yet and was missing some of the damage, and even just a little bit of lifesteal would have maybe given him the confidence to dive that tower. I like the way Luo's been playing this. Like earlier on when they ganked the Brewmaster, he pops the ultimate in this like trees here from Fog. When he ganks mid lane, he pops the ultimate on the high ground and then runs into the mid lane. So using his ultimate very effectively as a ganking tool, which is not normally how you see Lycan being played. He'll pop the ultimate maybe like in the middle of a team fight. When a team fight breaks out, he'll pop it to escape, but Luo kind of being a bit more innovative with the shapeshift. Here we go with How. Looks like Lincoln Sphere is on way for the Weaver, and he's just going to be looking for possibly some action. I mean, how do you kill this Weaver? You've got very little to do so with. Looks like June may try to look to bait things out and then get the Ice Blast scare, but How will scout out Chizbug with the Swarm, and he could pretty safely get out of this one. Has the Zeus ultimate to back him up as well if he can get anyone low enough for the Zeus ulti. June very low on armor, and Hal will take quite a bit more damage here and probably be just on his way, but Concussive Shot here comes back up. Newbee have numbers. A Blink also up on Rabbit. They're going to be a Fire Remnant forward. Remember, Hal does not have ultimate. The Skyreth, questionable Mystic Flare. Wasn't not going to find Hal, who's just too damn fast, and June going to get chased down by Hal on the Weaver, or Willie. Doesn't want to go into the tower, it looks like. Swarm going to be used, and June, no TP available. He's going to get cut off by the Brewmaster. The clap gets dodged. Sick plays. 7.7k MMR plays, in fact, but he's still going to die. You've got to think he's still going to die and will get taken out by the Zeus. And the tier 1 tower now right for the taking as Moot comes in, heals everyone up with the mech, and Hal the TP himself mid. A bit of a kerfuffle going down there with Luo in the ulti form. He was trying to get this tier 1 tower, but it's going to get denied as a Tornado MP comes flying through with an Ice Blast. Actually gets everyone down fairly low. How going to time-lapse it back, and Viper gets the bottom tier 1 tower. So for Newbee, they kind of extend their lead with the tower pickup. Also the tower deny on the mid lane. And things looking pretty good for them here in the early game, especially when you look at this net worth. 9k net worth on Hal's Weaver. And he's been roaming. He has not just been sitting in lane, free farming away. He's been the playmaker for this team. More than like someone like a Brewmaster's been the tempo controller. The Brewmaster was just happily sitting bottom lane. Like Ember Spirit was forced to TP out and rotate around. Brew's like, great, I'm going to farm my Blink Tag, I'll just sit in my lane. Viper, kind of similar story. It's been the Weaver who's rotated around the map more than anyone on this Newbee team. Even more so than the supports, I'd say. And IG need to maybe go for a few more of those classic IG smoke ganks here, because that's kind of the kind of maneuvers which may help get them back in this one. Luo's getting decent farm on his Lycan, even with a few unsuccessful ganks. He's forcing TPs. It's one of those things where, I think it was 14:37 yesterday when we were casting one of the games where a Void, I think it was How or someone used a Chronosphere mid lane and had no chance of getting a kill, but he forced out like 3 TPs. Well, Luo, he's dead. Smoke gank straight into the Ancients, also blocks the Ancients. But if you can force TPs with an ultimate like a Chronosphere or a Shapeshift and force 2-3 TPs and still escape, sometimes it's actually worth using an ultimate like that. And that's kind of what Lua's been doing with these ultis, with these Shapeshifts. So just because he's using a Shapeshift and going in for a kill doesn't mean if he doesn't get it, it was a bad ulti. As things stand though, Newbee now with the pick off on the Lycan, thinking they can try push this mid tier 1 tower. How can they just time-lapse back some of that damage and keep chipping away? Tornado EMP from Ferrari. Oh, actually does hit it, just barely. Looks like the edge of that AoE catches the Weaver, and now Weaver's going to be, well, probably forced back. Well, does actually have a decent enough amount of mana with the Magic Wand, and with this tower down to 160 HP, it seems that Newbee are pretty intent on sticking around and making sure they get it. On the high ground is the Vengeful Spirit Sansheng. Bottom river. Burak's actually getting caught out there. The T1 mid tower gets taken out in the meantime, so he's probably saying, space created, guys, but not exactly what they had in mind. Zeus going to throw down the ultimate. They wanted Ferrari, but he did go for the 4-staff, realizing that playing from behind like this is going to be some time before the Orchid's up, and he needs items now. Not to mention the 4-staff and what it can do. Saves his life there. When you're playing on the defensive, having a 4-staff is much more valuable than having a Orchid. For Newbee, well, they get a T1 tower, but they don't want to be giving up too many of these kills, like on that Brewmaster there. 7 kills to 11, and how keeping up the rate of farm. The Desolator going to be the next item pick 'em, and that's when this Newbee team 5-man is really scary. You've got a Viper Brewmaster who are both tanky, have the Brewmaster Primal Split Threat, and you've got great tower sieging capabilities with the Desolator. Not to mention, the Desolator is going to help them probably secure Roshan. So you get an Aegis on this Weaver with the Desolator, and he can just kind of frontline siege with the rest of his team to back him up. And you've got big damage potential, not just from the Weaver, but a Zeus who's level 9. He's farming pretty well. It's going to have either 4-staff or a Yules at a pretty decent time. House with an Invis Tornado EMP. That's going to force him to time-lapse out. Dispels the Invis rune, and nice bit of play there from Ferrari. Right now, Banana just going around, spamming these bolts, looking to de-ward anything he can. The Radiant team have limited vision. There is lane ward at the bottom lane and a bottom room ward, which is also about to expire, unfortunately. Both Radiant wards about to expire. Hard to keep up the map control against the Zeus, as Newbee now going to look to do a smoke gank of their own. I think it got pinged out. I almost want to say, like, they have a ward which saw some of it, so maybe saw them go into the trees here to give a general idea of what was going on, but Luo very far pushed up. Use that Midas before you die, because that's exactly what's about to happen. He wants to back up, but it's too late for him. Does get off the ultimate, gets 4-staff out by Ferrari. That's actually going to save his life. Nicely played. Can they actually turn this one around? It looks like they want to try and do so. Luo goes charging on the front lines. Has a Midas, though. It's not the best fighting item. Zeus now with the ulti bolt. Gets Luo down to about 50 HP. Chizbug is as good as dead. I don't think IG are going to be too happy about their decision to re-engage. And Ferrari, his 4-staff on cooldown means he's dead. Bad call from whoever decided to turn around there. Whoever made the decision, like, let's turn and fight. We can do this. It was definitely not the right decision to make there. As Ferrari had saved Luo's life there, but the turnaround was just not to their favor. And How at the bottom lane pressuring a tier 2. The rest of his team could theoretically pressure this tier 2 top, but instead they went and back off, play it safe with the Vengeful Spirit. Weaver with the Desolator. This Roshan should be pretty straightforward. I say with a Desolator, he's got it in 50 gold, and there we go. Should be flying out on the courier now. And look at this cruelty. It's the let's screw over the enemy jungle. Is he going to leave this as well? Yeah, you betcha. Goodbye, Radiant Jungle. This is effectively like blocking the camps, because there's just some meager little 20 gold worth of Centaurs there, although it looks like Ember Spirit will come in and clear out one. Sends a Fire Remnant over. We'll scout this out. But whether IG can contest this is a completely different matter. Ice Blast will catch a lot of these heroes, though. That's annoying, but doesn't seem to deter Newbee from going for Roshan. It looks like Hal going to be the one to take the Aegis. No contest over Roshan. And Hal just going to TP top. It's not like... Often you see teams, at least some of the tier 2 teams, they get something like a Roshan and immediately just go group up as 5 down the mid lane. They don't push out their side lanes. They miss out on a lot of farming efficiency, but Newbee, they know they're not in any rush. Like, even if they're probably not even expecting to get a Rax with this Aegis, it's just farm as efficient, stay as efficient as possible with our farm. Because right now we're ahead and we want to get further and further ahead rather than look to just win the game with the Aegis. That's kind of how you end up losing the game. If you go for one big push, it fails, and then suddenly it's like, well, we kind of did nothing with this Aegis, and we let our opponents catch up because we weren't farming very efficiently. So you can see here Newbee with 2 heroes mid, How was TPing top. They were kind of defending the bottom lane, although they didn't actually stop the tower from going down, but just trying to remain efficient, push out the lanes, then you can kind of group up and go for the tier 2 towers. Be kind of systematic about how you use this Aegis rather than just go for the YOLO 5-man mid push. Ferrari at mid lane gets caught by the How, has a lot of minus armor on him and will be forced to instantly ghost walk away. Almost level 16 on the Weaver now as well. Looks like that's where he's trying to get here, just with a couple neutral camps. He'll make his way back towards this mid tier 2 tower. BKB going to be the item of choice for Moo's Viper, which he's only about 400 or 500 gold away from it. These are the kind of items you kind of want to wait before you maybe even go for that high ground siege. June doing some good damage because of the Battle Fury pickup, so it does make pushing that little bit trickier. And I like this play from Low. Just push the top lane, go for the split push. Don't look to try and engage. How going to get silenced up? He's got the Aegis here. They wouldn't mind burning him with an Ice Blast. They may just do so. How? Gets out of range and will barely survive. Doesn't have the mana for the time left, but will get brought down as a result. And this tier 2 mid tower may just get denied now, if IG decide they don't want to hold on to it, which has some strategic value, but probably will just get denied as soon as Newbee come near it again, just to make sure they don't get that gold. So nice hold there. Nice bit of defense. Luo split pushing the top lane. Just good constant chip damage coming out of the Ember Spirit without putting anyone in any danger. That's always the key thing when your opponents have those big items. And Rabbit now, he's going to be forced to ulti. I like this play again. Well, Try may actually go down for this, unfortunately, but they're just kind of continually trying to force TPs, force the expels out. The Force Staff may actually save Twan's life there. The Cyclone comes, well, kind of too late as the Force Staff has been used, so that's... it's kind of like these space-creating shapeshifts. Lu's been doing this all game long. Just pop a shapeshift, run in, force TPs, force spells to be used, and just help your team out by doing so. Doom going to look to just clear out creep waves as much as possible before he fire him. It's out of there, and for IG, they're just doing all the small things right. When you're behind, that's the first step. Just do these small things to get you be as efficient as possible, be as annoying as possible. Make Newbee just frustrated. Force them to TP back. Force them to not be able to just 5-man push. Chip away at them slowly with the Ember Spirit, as we've seen, and that'll burn the Aegis. And without Aegis, Newbee probably not really that intent on going for too many more group up and pushes. They're just going to keep looking to farm this lanes themselves. It is a Game 5 decider. Winner of this is going to be your ECL champion. As things stand, it's the Hal Weaver, well ahead of the Radiant carries, but as things are right now, the next 3 are all on the IG side. So IG are keeping up, just not with the Weaver. And the 2 Radiant supports also pretty damn poor when you look at someone like Banana, who's a 4-position Zeus with 6k net worth, effectively kind of a second utility 3-position hero. Nice blast up top, but don't think it's going to be killed. Maybe if that Tornado MP landed, but will not find any kills. And again, it's the TP's somewhat being forced. You throw these ultimates, you it's kind of like faking out your opponents more than anything. They're not actually thinking they're going to get these kills, but it's more like, yeah, let's just throw some spells, see what happens. If somehow they land and we get a really good initiation, we take the kill, but the main plan is just to kind of force the rotations. Force Newbee back, stall them, delay them. Frustrate them. Again at top lane, similar thing. I don't think Ferrari's expecting to kill Moo. He's just expecting to do just this. Force out a... maybe try force a BKB and mech. I guess he doesn't force anything out there, but this is another time someone's TPing in. Maybe Moo's using his BKB. Just constant annoying. It's like making it so that Newbee, well, they can maybe wait for the next Roshan, wait for the next couple of items. They do get the BKB on their Brewmaster, but constant space creation coming out from IG. Question is, how good is their late game going to be? Weaver picks up a BKB now. to go with his Lincoln's Desolator. Just allow him to fight that a little bit better against the crowd control, the Invoker, the burst damage as well, like a Skywrath Ancient Apparition. It does seem though that IG are kind of in pretty decent catch-up mode. Chizzbug did go back for a Midas, and as important as the Ag Scepter is, it's like he needs levels as well. He's not seeing creep waves. He's such an easy kill for this newbie side. The Weaver can solo kill him. Zeus's burst damage is insane, and uh-oh. June actually going to walk into Hao, which is not a hero who can really kill. Well, Hao can't really kill him, I should say. Newbie looking to get some map control though. The fact they're walking through enemy jungle probably suggests they're going to look to lay down some wards here with Sancheng holding the singular one. I mean, Hao's unkillable, but he's also not finding kills, so not really progressing Newbie's current position, getting them any closer to taking objectives. The tier 2 mid tower did end up getting denied, but that's all they really got with that Aegis last time, was the tier 2 mid tower, which didn't even earn them much money since it was denied. And Skyra's going to pick up a gem, so this is a kind of a cooler item to have when you're kind of turtling up, because you want to make sure you're not getting picked off, and if your opponents have complete map vision, it's so hard to farm, so hard to move out of your base. But if Newbie are playing blind, you can farm a little bit safer. You can at least control the map a little better. And you know Newbie's going to have some decent ward control themselves. They've got the Zeus on their side, so they have that ability to de-ward so easily. Man, both this Ember Spirit and Weaver just feeling so unkillable. You see Ember Spirit pushing deep down the tier 2 tower. Hao just farming in enemy territory. He's going to Twine, who has a gem. If he can kill him quickly, that's huge. The gem on the ground. Can Hao pick it up? You betcha. He's got the gem. He steals it with a BKB. Dropped his TP scroll to do so. Really nice play there. A newly purchased gem. That's big. It's just a support kill, but the gem... more important than the support kill is the gem. It's on a big, long cooldown now. We won't be seeing a gem in IG's hands for some time. 9 minutes without a gem. That's one of those kind of turning moments of a game. I mean, Newbie have been the ones in control for most of this game, but as far as moments which can help them kind of get the stranglehold over IG, come closer to sealing the deal, that timing right there. A kill on the Skywrath Mage who's just bought a gem. IG are going to be playing very blind now, and also just see a bit of a gold swing as a result of that as well. June. Just fire Remnant back to base and be safe about it, but it takes a lot of damage. You can see the potential of Hao's Weaver, especially with a DD room, of course. It looks like they maybe want to just poke and prod at this tier 2 bottom tower. The TP will come in from the Ember Spirit. He's got the Crystallis to go with his Battle Fury. Some decent damage output, and IG seems they want to fight this one. They're looking to kind of wrap around and maybe catch Newbie from behind. Observer Ward is going to be bypassed because of the smoke, and if they can kill someone like Rabbit to satisfy, it's going to BKB though, and that's going to make things incredibly difficult. It's going to be Banana, which is actually a good target in itself, but he gets forced out the way. He's still alive. Rabbit going to BKB. How? I don't know about this, Luo. You're not killing this Weaver. Going to be forced to back off with a BKB. He's looking for a bash maybe so he can fight this one. No one dead just yet. And the entire IG side realize they've kind of got to retreat here. The Brewmaster Bears looking for a hero to Cyclone to Boulder Toss, but don't find too much. So both teams get out without casualty. And both teams kind of use some of their core items, the BKBs especially, getting worn down. Both the 10-second BKB of the Brewmaster as well as the Lycan being used. And I think Weaver uses his 9-second BKB. So 2 BKBs on the Newbie side being used and 1 on the Radiant side. But Newbie will get themselves a tier 2 tower. More constant harass coming out from the Ember Spirit, who's doing a good job so far, but we'll see Newbie take the tier 2 and maintain their complete map control with Gem, with Zeus, and, well, now they're looking just to secure the next Roshan, which is up in 45 seconds time. They may not scout it out immediately. It looks like Hao's going to go for the Ancients and may even need a heal up back at base. He's fairly low on HP. Rabbit not around just yet either, and he's got 1800, so may see something like a Vlad's pickup for the Brewmaster at this point. Either Vlad's or AC, depending on how big of an item he wants to go for. And it seems he's going to be the target of a rotation from IG. Bring 2-3 heroes top, and have got a Hex on the Invoker, so you can get rid of that. You want to go in for a kill with the Lycan, you Hex him up and get rid of that evasion. Does make it very doable. Here come Newbee with an Invis Vengeful Spirit, can scout things out, and I don't think the Radiant team have too much in the way of detection. Scarith with a couple Sentry Wards is back at base, and makes dealing with this Weaver and just teamfighting in general a nightmare. Hao's now got an Eagle Song. He is skyrocketing to the top of the net worth chart. I don't even think he's going to need an Aegis at this point. He's just so tanky and doing so much, but maybe just to be on the safe side, especially since he's the high ground CG. He's someone who's going to be in the front lines while the rest of his team just chill much further back and watch him kind of just right-click away. Gemini attack down towers. Goes in, finds Ferrari, does not actually have detection for this. Or at least not he himself. There's dust on Sancheng, and Ferrari just seems intent to take the information that he's got from scouting and go from there, so we will see some D-ward action happen. And just continuing to make life hard for the IG side, who are now going to be up against an Aegis on the Newbee squad. Well, Game 5 of the Grand Finals, IG versus Newbee, and Newbee looking pretty dominant here. They did have a very slow start. Apart from the 1-0 winner bracket advantage, it was IG winning the first 2 games, giving them match point, but Newbee managed to scrape through, take a game back, and put IG on the ropes as well. Force out this Game 5 decided with things tied 2 games apiece. Newbee have Aegis on Weaver. They've got 2k gold on him. It seems they want to wait for maybe the Butterfly before they go for that high ground siege, but also, once again, you get the Aegis, doesn't mean you just 5-man down mid. You look to keep these lanes pushed out, be as efficient as possible. You've got more items coming like the Manta style for Moo, you've got the Butterfly coming, you've got Rabbit who's actually got an ultimate orb, so maybe you're going to see a Lincoln Sphere to help deal with the Scythe of Vice of the Invoker. Or possibly even just go for a Scythe of Vice himself, if he feels like that's going to be the item they need, although I think they're doing okay as far as lockdown goes. They haven't got the best team line for catching out June, and the Hex maybe does help there, but I think for the most part we have been seeing more kind of Lincoln Sphere type purchases in these kind of longer drawn out games where the teams want to be more defensive with their items. So Weaver, Butterfly has been purchased, is en route on the Courier, and once his top lane's pushed out he may look to join up with his team towards the mid lane, and mid lane that's where the fight's going down. Sancheng got silenced up, Hex as well, but he's just fine. The Ice Blast even coming in, not going to matter. Zeus gets the kill on the Skywrath Mage, and these little pesky wolves, well, it's not the pesky wolves, it's the big bad wolf who's going to bring down the Vengeful Spirit, go for the BKB TP, but there's too much right-click damage. Luo's dead, and he's dead for 70 seconds, has got buyback. Would love to force that if you're Newbee, but it's bottom lane where, well, June's trying to force some rotations. Rabbit has a BKB, has an ultimate, and he may need to use one or the other because June is doing big damage here. Has a Searing Chains, the Sunstrike, not going to be enough. It's also off the mark. I think that's probably like a level 1 Exort, and Banana is getting killed. June with the DD rune. This Daedalus Battle Fury, Ember Spirit, he's actually pretty farmed. This is going to be the hero to look out for if you're a Newbee. June, who's been playing the off-lane Clockwork all day long, has suddenly been put into a carry role, and he's delivering. Still with a DD rune, and, well, Brewmaster says, screw that, I'm out of here. I'm not going anywhere near this guy until I've got full HP again. Weaver, though, well, it's a sad day to be an Egg Separation. Does get himself up to 2.3k gold. I don't know if this is going to be an Ag Scepter game. I almost think he's going to go for like a Ghost Scepter 4-staff or something. Just to stay alive against the Weaver. If he wants to be anywhere near a team fight using Ice Vortexes and Cold Feet, he needs defensive items. The Ag Scepter is nice if he doesn't want to team fight at all. If he just wants to sit somewhere else, throw ultimates from afar, great, go Ags. But if he wants to be more involved actively in a team fight using Vortexes, 4-staffing teammates, well, he needs a 4-staff for one thing, but he also ideally want a Ghost Scepter. Ember Spirit at bottom. Gonna get out of there with relative ease. The Magic Missile not going to find any way to, well, deal with a Fire Remnanting out Ember Spirit, who will even TP himself back home. 2.4k gold. And uh-oh, Chuan. Say goodnight, my sweet prince. And he pings things out here, probably realizing that there is an Observer Ward there now, as they kind of got the jump on him during nighttime. Ferrari actually going, well, he's gone heavily back in the Exile. I mentioned that he probably didn't have many in Exile, but he's only gone 3 Quas on a, well, what was initially a Quaswex Invoke. I think realizing we need more damage, and also we're going late game. You want these Exalt spells as soon as possible. The Chaos Meteors, the Deafening Blast, even, well, the Sunstrike for some single target DPS. So going back for the Exalt and also going back for the Acceptor. So we'll see maybe some Tornado, Chaos Meteor, Deafening Blast type combos coming out from IG on the Invoker. Ferrari Forte definitely very capable of that. Chizbug at top lane, getting caught out, gets blown up. Viper getting the kill, and Brewmaster gets a kill on the Scarith. Made both supports on the IG side so damn squishy, and, well, Hao's in a great position to go high ground. No glyph available, Aegis still in hand, and he's got himself a good kind of 50 seconds left on this Aegis. Possible rack's going to be taken here by Newbee. Lua's going for kind of a base trade kind of scenario, but he's just getting a tier 2 tower while the team's losing Raxes. Don't blame him, he can't fight at all. There's nothing IG can do to kind of stop those Raxes going down. A TP from Lua would just be kind of pointless at this point. So he does the best he can, which is get a tier 2 tower, get himself some more farm. He's up to 5k gold now. And, well, it looks like IG are just going to have to play from a Rax down. I've got the Acceptor now and Invoker. I think realizing, well, we're down to Rax. We're not using buybacks at this point. We need to buy any and all items we can. But Newbee get themselves up. 20 kills to 9. They build up a 10k gold lead as well. And with that, IG are on the ropes here in Game 5. Zeus, a support Zeus at that, has an Aghanim Scepter 4-staff. Banana has come up big on the Zeus, and got to go back to what kind of WinteR was saying earlier, man. These teams need to pick some more Zeus. This is a very powerful hero. Both Newbee supports, in fact, looking like absolute beasts here, as the Vengeful Spirit level 14 with a Blink Ghost Scepter. So definitely a lot of potential for big plays to be made from the Zeus with the damage output, and Venge with the swap saves. The swap initiates into a Blink out. There's some plays to be made here. And Brewmaster 3k gold. I wonder if this may even be a Hex. I felt like it would be more likely be a Linken's. Especially if you're trying to just siege your opponents. You're not looking to initiate with a kind of Hex and going on someone. If you're going to try to find pickoffs and before you push, then yeah, the Hex is nice. But if you're just looking to siege, the Linken's makes a bit more sense. But so far, hasn't committed to either. But saving up the money seems to suggest more of maybe a Hex type build. Want to see how desperate June gets. Always that lovely possibility of the Rapiers coming into play if this game goes long enough. I'm liking deciding Assault Crest is going to be the name of the game. Here we go, top lane. Hao already using a preemptive Shikuchi before the Ice Blast even comes in. Goes for a Reaver now as well, realizing it. And just raw HP, such that if he gets caught out by, well, just what was trying to catch him out then. Hex from Ferrari. He would have to use something like a 4-star first to break the Linken's before he hexes, but if something like that can succeed in killing the Weaver, that's, well, can only be prevented from having raw HP maybe, and that's where the heart will pay dividends here. How does not have buyback, I believe? Yeah, no buyback if he should die here. Lua with an invis himself, and IG trying to find pickoffs hardcore here. They're going to get just Sanching here. Deafening Blast comes in the mech. It's kind of too late to do too much, and Lua wants to keep on fighting with the AC. He's a pretty good battler, but nowhere near on the same scale as Hao, who's just extraordinarily farmed. Has his Heart of Taras now delivered to a mid-team fighter. With this, even without an Aegis, it seems like Newbee probably going to just consider going high ground. 3k HP on the Weaver. He's actually going to go for a split push. I like this move. Leave the 4 heroes maybe towards the mid lane. Go in here. Force some heroes out. Well, you know, not even going to chip away at the tower. Just scares IG perhaps into making moves here. Forcing them around. Just keeping them not at ease. And Newbee now doubling up 20 kills to 10. How will get hexed, but I don't think he's going to die here. Has a BKB time-lapse. Didn't even need to time-lapse. Could have just used one or the other. And Ferrari in trouble. Hal just looking to turn around and man up. Zeus going to ultimate. Gets the kill. It's a Weaver godlike streak. And Hal going to go back in. He wants more. He wants June, who's hexed up. Ooh, going to get out of there. Just barely. Weaver instead says, okay, I'll take your tower. I'll maybe take your Raxes. I can't kill the Ember Spirit, but Raxes is a pretty good consolation prize. And they're going to work on the melee Rax here. Invoker with no buyback. And with that, things looking really bad for IG. This could be the end of their run in the ECL. They made a great run through the lower bracket. They knocked out Vici Gaming in the first round. Then they moved on to take down LGD. But here they've met a roadblock. Newbee, who have been so good, had the 1-0 winner bracket advantage. And it looks like with the help of that, they may be our champion here for the last tournament of 2014. Time is running out. Raxes are running out. Hal gets the Rage Rax. He's going to go straight for the melee Rax. He's tired. He doesn't want to waste any time. He just wants to end this game. And while the rest of the IG squad are going to engage, look to bring down Moo, Hal's going to say, no funny business. I've got your Rax. We've got Mega Creeps. And it's going to be all over. Chuan calls the GG. IG go down. Newbee are your ECL 2014 Winter Champions here today. Well, what a way to end things. Not exactly the most thrilling game. We've had some incredible games throughout the tournament, though. And it is going to be IG getting knocked out by Newbee. You can see some slight disappointment on some of the IG faces, but for Newbee, it's all smiles, and, well, they are going to be going into the new year on a happy note. So, pretty straightforward final game. Newbee, to me, have been definitely the team of the tournament, drafting better than most of their opponents, playing better, especially in late game scenarios. They've had all those long, kind of like 2-hour-long games where they just seem to make pretty solid late game decisions. There was that one series against LGD where How and the Void kind of was a bit shaky here or there, but all in all, this team is the full package. They've got it all. They're TI4 champions for a reason, and even without Xiao, it's still a very accomplished team. If anything, the addition of Rabbit gives them a bit more versatility in their hero pool. I'd say Rabbit's slightly more individually skilled than Xiao. They are, of course, missing the director himself, the kind of the captain, with Xiao not in the picture. But I mean, this Newbee squad is showing that they can win games. They've got what they need. So with that does it for the ECL Championship, guys. Big thanks to everyone for tuning in with me throughout this BO5 as well as the earlier best of 3. Big thanks to my co-casters earlier today, PPD. Follow him on Twitter at PPDDota, who was casting the loser bracket final with me. And a big shout out to WinteR. You can follow him on Twitter at WinteRDota. Unfortunately, he couldn't join me for this Game 5. He had to shoot off to the airport. But if you want to follow me, I'm at BTS GoDz. Big thanks to everyone who follows the stream and watches all our BTS broadcasts. That does it for today. We'll be back in a couple of days. The I-League LAN Finals will be kicking off New Year's Eve. Dota 2 casting. That's right. You heard it right. Well, it starts on January 1st, but for us here in the US time zone, that's effectively on the 31st. So we'll be seeing you guys New Year's Eve for you Americans, as we'll have I-League LAN Finals. So plenty of Chinese Dota, our specialty here at BTS, coming your way over the next week. So that does it for me. And big thanks to all you guys. Love you all. We'll see you next time.